So after looking around my kitchen a little bit, these plain, boring white walls, I figured I'd try to do something I've never done before. This way I get a chance to learn a new skill and teach a little bit along my way. I decided to retile my kitchen. Well, I guess just tile my kitchen. Can't be retiled if there's never tile there. I got some tile donated from a friend to get this project started. First thing you're going to need is mortar. I went with pre-mix. I wanted to make this as simple as possible. Also use pre-mixed grout, and you could use a stone or grout sealer, but it wasn't necessary in this job. Have a tile cutter, a pair of tile nippers, which would be used if you had to make curves or cut off small little pieces. You need a level, so you can make sure you get nice level lines, otherwise your tile will be on an angle, won't look very good. You have a trowel to help scoop your mortar out and put it onto your other trowel here with the grooves. Since we're using small tile, we use a little triangle grooves. If it's a larger tile, use a square grooves. Here is a grout float, which you use to spread your grout. A sponge for cleaning up the grout. Tape measure, of course, to take measurements. And I completely taped off the area around. That way I wouldn't try to get mortar and stuff onto the paint surface. I want to try to keep everything clean. Towel spacers. And of course, a sanding sponge to help roughen up the surface some. And most importantly, your tile. Now this tile was basically donated to me. One of my friends found it in her basement after she moved in. I guess the previous owner had a plan to do something with it and never did. So I got this big box of good and broken pieces of tile, which I sorted through. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is, basically dry fit your different plans. Try to figure out what you want. Now I did this. I took some pictures of it and I submitted it to the top subscribers of my YouTube channel. I let them pick the pattern. And this was the winning pattern. So this is the pattern I went with. The first thing I did was I taped off the areas. Again, to help keep grout and mud from getting on places I didn't need to get on. Then I took my sponge, sanding sponge here, and sanded the wall. We're not trying to take any paint off or smooth down any rough surfaces. We just want to take the shine off of the semi-gloss. Then I took a water bottle, sprayed it down, wiped it down, and removed the dust. That way our mortar will have something good to stick to. That's all we're trying to do is get the surface prepared for the mortar. If you don't sand, what happens is that semi-gloss paint will actually repel the mortar. This, like a semi-gloss, is easy to clean up. It'll also help keep mortar from sticking. So you just want to take your sanding sponge and basically removing the shine from the paint. That's all you're really trying to do. And once you get all that done, again, I take a spray bottle of water, spray the wall down, wipe it down to get all the dust off. That way our mortar will stick. So I want to make sure that the wall is perfectly square and level here. I'm working from the top down considering that I don't have a counter. If there's a counter over here, I'll work from the bottom up just because it's easier. So I have to work from the top down. I make sure that's nice and level. I got a nice level thing to start with. Let's get to work. So I'm going to take pre-mixed mortar. I chose pre-mix to make it simple. Most first-time tilers probably also use pre-mix just because you're not trying to mix it and get the right consistency. You see the supervisor walked in the room to check on me. So I'll put a little bit on my spreader here and then start spreading. Now I use the smooth part of the spreader to spread it, and then I come back with the V-notches. Again, we're using V-notches because it's a small tile on the wall. I'm going to go ahead and do this whole top row and get myself ready to tile. Now again, I use the flat part to apply it, and then I come back with the V-notches. We need the V-notches there. That's actually what holds the tile in place. It causes like a little suction with the air in there. So I start placing my tiles. I want spacers at the top. And I put these spacers inside. I'm going to push up against them to make sure that it's nice and tight to help keep my spaces nice and even. Once we get towards the end, I'm going to have to make a cut, which I will show you how to do in a few. So we just keep putting our spacers inside there and keep adding tile. Now as we get towards the end here, you see that little space there is slightly smaller than a full tile. So what I'm going to do is take a piece of tile, hold it up to it, and then mark it with my Sharpie. So right here, I'm just taking my best guess as far as where the spacer is going to be, and then I'll go cut that. So now we got that done, let's go ahead and continue the process for the rest of the rows. Again, we're going to spread our mortar up on the wall. Then we'll take our spreader here and get our grooves put in. Then it's just time to start placing our tiles. So we'll grab our spacers and get our tiles up. So again, we're going to start in our corner over here. We're going to get our 2 spacers up top, 2 spacers against the wall. We're going to slide the tile in nice and tight. We want to keep these nice and tight as we slide these up to help keep our lines even. You see we had to do a little bit of adjustment to the tiles above, but that's fine. Then we'll go ahead and start doing our other tile. Again, it's just the same process all the way down the length of the wall. Tile work really isn't as difficult as it is just meticulous and pretty much the same boring thing over and over. But it's important that you take your time to get these things lined up properly. Otherwise you end up with a few crooked tiles. So again, just keep taking our spacers and putting our tiles in until we get this wall done. Well, 1 wall down, 3 to go. Now I did run into a small problem with the spacers I bought. I thought it'd be cool and I bought these fancy spacers here. But considering I'm not lining them up with all the grout lines perfectly aligned, but my grout lines are kind of like broken by almost a brick design, it didn't work because I actually had to cut those spacers into 4ths so that I could stick them in there. So 2 walls down, 2 more walls to go. Again, it's just the same process over and over. So once you basically get it down, you're good to go. Now on this side, I had to start from the bottom going up instead of from the top coming down because I had the countertop there to, yeah, I need a new cameraman. I had a countertop there to help me get a nice level line. So once I got that done, then the other wall here, I made sure those lines matched up with the lines over the sink. So now that our tile is up, we wait for our mortar to dry, usually overnight, close to 12 hours or so. And then we'll go ahead and start our grout. Now, our grout is a sloppy job. Yeah, it falls everywhere. But what you're basically going to do is move your grout float at about a 45-degree angle as you push the grout into the joints. You will go with quite a bit grout. Again, I used all pre-mixed stuff. The powder would probably get more out of, but I wanted to make this job simple since it was my first time toweling, and I'm sure anybody else watching this video is probably their first time toweling. So we're going to take our grout and again push it in at 45-degree angles. See the boss walk in the room to check on me. Now the reason again for the tape is because as you'll see later on that the grout will stain your painted wall. It won't have a problem with the tile, but like since I have white painted walls, I got grout on the walls and it damaged the paint. You can actually hear Okami here with his collar checking in on me doing my audio. Yeah, so we're going to keep doing this for the full length of the wall. Again, just taking our float and pushing the grout into our mortar joints. Sorry, our grout joints there. And then spreading it nice and evenly. So we smash it in, then we take the edge of our grout float and basically scrape it off. And all we're trying to do is get those grout lines filled in nice and tight. Once we get that done, we take our damp sponge, not a completely wet sponge, but a damp one. If you get too much water on it, you start to pull grout out of the joint. So you just want to take a damp sponge, constantly wringing it out, cleaning it out, and we're taking the grout off the surface of the tile. That's all we're trying to do. We won't be able to get it all off because it just smears as you go. But once we're done with this process, you can come back with a nice towel and get your your towel nice and clean. So now we got these 2 walls grouted. I went ahead and did the other walls also. So now it's time to clean our tile up. So the grout takes about 2 hours to somewhat dry. Then you come through with a damp towel here. You see I cleaned up my grout lines to get them all nice and straight. And then I'm basically just cleaning the grout off the tile. It's kind of easy to see because it's a dark color grout on a light color tile. If you use a light color grout, it'd be a little more difficult to see. I'm going to take my damp cloth here and basically scrub my tile, trying not to get into the grout lines too much, just trying to clean the towel off. Then I took a microfiber cloth, only because I like microfiber, and I wipe the towel down and basically polish it. You know you got it all off the face of the towel when the face of the towel is nice and smooth. You can take your hand across the face. If you don't get any dust or it doesn't feel gritty, then you know you got it all off. And that's basically it. So a few things I've learned from my first tile job is, as you can see, some of these tiles are a little crooked. Just take your time and Make sure you get your spacers right. Also, make sure you do a good job of measuring your towel. It's probably best to dry fit all the towel, which I did on my next toweling job, which will be in another video. Also, as you can see at the bottom of the wall down there is a stain from the grout. So you have to make sure you do a great job of masking off the area around it so you don't get your paint stained by the grout. And there's a finished project. And you can see there's a couple of tiles that are crooked. It's okay, it's my first time doing this, and I learn as I go. So please learn from my mistakes. Just take your time, make sure you do a lot of measurements, and also do a good job of dry fitting your pieces first so that all your tile will line up and you'll be able to get good cuts. So thank you for checking out my video. Here's my second tiling job, which I have another video coming out for. I did subway tile at my friend's house. I took my time, it came out a lot better. So please click that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Also hit that bell, that way you get a notification when new videos come out. I'm still trying to do them every week. And I'm looking forward to the next project, which is still at home, hopefully. We'll find out.